I am apt to believe that this day will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore.
Thus spoke John Adams, reflecting on the day when the Declaration of Independence was first presented to Congress. However, even Adams could not have anticipated how potent the Declaration of Independence would prove to be.
The Declaration turned out to be very important for numbers of groups in the 19th century. Temperance movements and other reform movements of the 1830s and 40s appropriated the Declaration and that language of the preamble and reworked it to suit their needs. Probably the most famous reworking of the Declaration of Independence came with the women's rights movement that got off the ground in a formal way in 1848 at Seneca Falls. The women there took the Declaration of Independence and simply rewrote the preamble to become gender inclusive.
From the standpoint of African Americans, the Declaration of Independence was not only a sacred document, it was a living document. You know, starting in the 1830s, free African Americans in the North held regular conventions, and at these conventions they would debate the problems, the issues significant for racial progress. They talked about civil rights. They obviously talked about the abolition of slavery. Many of those meetings, they would start out by reading the Declaration of Independence. The fact is that they knew those words had power, and they were determined to use those words as Americans themselves to address America, to not allow America to forget what it said it was all about.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
I'd say that the person who's most important in making it into part of our creed, something that we really do regard as very important, is Abraham Lincoln, who picks up on Jefferson's language and applies it to the new situation that he has to face in the Civil War and during his presidency.
The inflammatory ideals announced in the Declaration of Independence, that all are created equal, with unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, have been rekindled in each generation.
We can see it ending slavery, and we can then see it in the civil rights movement of the 1960s expanding to include equality and voting rights and political rights for black citizens, African Americans. I think that the next group which is claiming it as its manifesto are gays. That the gay population of the United States now is saying that it is part of the mandate that Jefferson foresaw. And I think that they have a legitimate claim on that legacy.
I think we have to work on it all the time, every day. And I think we'll never have to stop working on it.